What's going on? What's going on? We're back. Woo! In this chat room, put your age, your city, your state, your gender. Let's get it. Tell your good lies, because I'm fine no matter what. We are back. Welcome to any and all. How we doing? Shout out to the CIA. One love to the FBI, ladies and gentlemen. How we're doing tonight? Let's get on into it. And before we get into this thing, I want to make sure we're all on the same page. Housekeeping. Look. You see the title. Single mothers can't get a high value man. Does being a baby mama impact your options? Or does being a baby mama, how does that impact your value? So here's what I need for you guys to understand. Sorry. This is a sensitive topic, sensitive subject, and no matter how you slice it, there are going to be some feelings that are going to get hurt. There are going to be some people that are upset. You know, I look at the likes to dislike ratio, and I'm just like, Jesus Christ, can you even start up? Can you even have a conversation with some people before they get triggered? Well, as you have probably realized, that I'm going to say what I'm going to say, regardless as to how many of the detractors feel. So here's what I'm going to ask, though. I'm going to ask this. This is a very simple ask. Be respectful in the comment section. If I see a bunch of pejorative attacks on single mothers, a bunch of rudeness, I don't want to hear a bunch of insults, because I was born to a single mother. So I don't want to hear a bunch of insulting language to single mothers. That's not going to fly here. But what we are going to do is we're going to have a discussion on something that I think is of serious import. How does being a mother impact your How does being a mother impact your options? And see, what I realized is, last week when I had the show, I realized that a lot of women don't are not all right with the fact that anything impacts their, overall options, which is crazy to me. But we got to talk about it. Ladies, in the chat room, I need to ask a respectful question. How many of the ladies in the chat room are mothers? If you are a mother, if you're a mother, put a 1 in the chat room. Okay? If you're a mother, put a 1 in the chat room. And yes, this week I'm headed to Philadelphia, New York City, or Manhattan via Philly. Then I'm going to come back and I'm going to swing over to the West Coast. Fragrance of tonight is Roja Dove Bahrain. All right. Melinda says she is a single mother. Pink Flame says she's a single mother. All right, ladies. The purpose of this video is not to insult you. It's not. The purpose of the video tonight is to not insult. It's not. But it is to have a real world conversation on how these things impact your value. Now, this whole high value, man, some folks are just going to have to get over it. It's not going anywhere. It's not going anywhere. It's only going to get more intense because, like it or not, in an open dating market, women have consolidated and say they want men of a certain caliber. I don't care why people want what they want. I'm just speaking to the outcome. How you gonna get it? So, if you are a single mother, that's how I define things. One, a single mother is a woman who was married, then she had a child of marriage. Then after that, she got divorced. She was divorced or widowed. That's a single mother. I put women like that over in category A. We're not going to talk about women in category A as much as we're going to talk about women in category B. Women who chose, and yes, it's a choice, to have a child outside of the bonds of marriage. And how that impacts or lowers your value. So last week, why are we on this subject tonight? Well, because of last week's show, I actually had a lot of ladies on, and one particular caller brought up some very good points. But instead of, trying to clarify, let me just go ahead and patch her in. Again, I'm going to lower the lights here, and we're just going to get at it. And what just happened there? Thin guys, big women. This is all out of whack. But anyway, I don't want to touch on the weight portion. I mean, I appreciate the caller coming in. Jasmine, I'm going to go ahead and let you say something you have to say. We got some, and I'm going to open it up and let you ladies talk to one another. Jasmine, how are you?
Hi, I'm doing good.
Good. I see you, Joanna. You're next.
So I didn't know that you were gonna. I watch you all the time, so I've never actually been on a Zoom meeting with you. So I'm actually shocked that I am. I would have gotten on camera, so
that's okay.
Kind of nervous. Okay, so my whole thing is because I heard you talk before about single moms kind of being I guess under low value, I guess. So I guess I'm just trying to see basically where I fall. I do meet the criteria of being between, a size 2. like a 0,
Okay.
very petite. And I had my son like at a very, very young age, like
Okay.
very young.
So
And ever
so
since then,
so basically,
yeah,
the question is, how does being were you married or unmarried?
obviously unmarried because I was
Okay, I don't.
underage.
Okay, well, so how does that affect your overall options? Now I'm going to say this, just because just because the likes are off, I'm going to go ahead and turn the like back on because, as usual, you're going to have a bunch of folks coming through here in their feelings. The like button still works, and guys, we have 2,000 people in here. We're going to need somebody to drop something in the super chat. Are you serious? I mean, I get it. I get it. You saw the title and you were like, "Oh, this is gonna be a good one," and you ran over, and then you just got in here, start talking to people because you ain't seen them. And I get it, but guys, come on, respect the chat room, respect the platform, and come on, man, do something. Let's move it.
Yeah, so that's what I'm trying to see, because since being an adult, obviously I'm not a dumb girl.
2,000 folks and
I
not one
graduated
person,
high
huh?
school early. I work in the IT
Well,
field.
let me ask you this.
Um,
Let me ask you this then.
mhm.
And your If we name don't have at least 10 is people drop Jasmine.
Yes.
something in,
Yes.
do you? Let me go ahead
Woo.
and meet some of the other people so
Comes
we
the
can have a
music.
one-on-one.
Yeah, thank you.
Do you think it should impact?
I don't think so
No. I'm saying, do you think
Shout
it
out,
should
Steve.
impact your value on the open market?
No, I don't because I
Okay.
feel like I carry myself very well.
She said that even though she had a child early, that she does not believe it should impact her value on the open market because, shout out to Tony Davis, fam. Shout out to Steve as well. What's going on, folks? Uh, and this is what I've heard a lot of women say, that the sentiment along the lines of, I just have one child and it's like no big deal because I carry myself well and because I can afford to take care of my child, whether it's a son or a daughter. It's no big deal. And ladies, I need you to understand that that could not be further from the truth. But as we kind of go into this, I need you guys to listen to just kind of how lightly she talks about it.
Up with myself. I constantly work out.
So I
And
need
I
you.
wish I
Okay,
could show you a picture of me.
I get it. I get it. I mean, I get it. There are some very attractive women, but
Yes.
what you're basically saying is,
Go ahead and hit the
I
like
don't
button.
think that the fact that I reproduced and made a life with another man should impact any of my options with men. Period.
No, because this is something that
Slow
happened when I
down.
was very
Okay,
young.
ma'am. Listen, I said you're basically trying to say that even though I chose to reproduce and produce a life with another man, I don't believe that it should impact my choices or my options with another man. Do you realize she didn't even take 2 seconds? Rain is tripping out there. She didn't even take 2 seconds. Didn't even sit back and think about what I said. Immediately she said no, because it happened when I was so young. And she was being very honest. There are a lot of women who really believe that it happened when I was young. I was young and dumb. Look, ladies, let me tell you something. Many of you use this reason. I was young, and then go back through my videos, and you will hear women in their 50s talking about, I was young when I made these decisions. And they talk about when they're in their late 20s and 30s. Ladies, let me tell you very simply, your youth, your age at the time of your mistakes or your issues, you can't just wipe them away because you feel like you were young and it doesn't matter. It does. But okay. You want to have the conversation? I'll have it
Yes.
with you. How old are you?
24.
All right. All right. So, do you have custody?
Yes, I do. I take very good care of my son.
Ma'am?
Yes. Mm-hmm.
So, any man who deals with you, if he were to marry you, would have to You're a package deal, right?
I mean, I guess you can say that.
There's no guess unless you're planning on giving the child away.
No. So my
So,
okay.
see, far too many of you ladies think the world should to give you. It's like, well, the world does. Listen to what I'm about to say. The world does not owe you or me understanding. That's the hardcore reality of it. When you had a child, what age were you? I don't know what happened to her. She muted herself. Unmute yourself.
Sorry about that. I'm
You're,
not sure what happened, but yeah, I had my son when I was 14, so my son is
oh,
currently 10.
all right, ma'am. So the reality of it is, yes, ma'am. Your child should have a cost. It does. And no matter how nice you are, how great your child is, it does cost you. And you need to make peace with that. Because any man who dates you is going to have to deal with a 10-year-old boy from another man. That is another. Is his father in his life at all?
Oh, he died.
Okay. Well, sorry to hear that, but the child is still another expense. He's been. I don't understand why you women feel like kids shouldn't cost you anything. That doesn't make any sense to me. But you can try to explain it to me.
Um, I mean, I can see if I had like multiple children by different men, but it's just like one.
You notice how I said you can try to explain it to me, and the first thing, well, I can see if I had multiples, but it's just one. Guys, he's 24. But there are plenty of women out here who are just like her. They feel like it's no big deal. It's only one kid because they are viewing it through their lens. And what I pointed out to her and many of these ladies is they never stop to think about the men on the other side. They're thinking like, well, I've got a house or an apartment and my kid is clothed, fed, very well taken care of. It's not really impacting my life. I can pretty much go on and do. I'm not down bad because I got a kid. I mean, I was able to go to high school and college and out doing everything else. So why wouldn't a man come in here? I mean, it's not the kid wouldn't be any bother. And you ladies don't seem to even come close to think about what a man is thinking. And I'm just talking about a man, period. But in particular, high value men. Because again, that's what most women say they want. They want men of a certain character. Or let me take high value out. Most women want Henrys, high earners, not rich yet. Those are different than high value. Most women want men who are in the top 15 or top 10% of earners. Just because you're there, that does not make you high value.
You know?
But you keep downplaying it like it's no big deal. It's just one. I had it when I was young. It's not a pet, ma'am. I mean, and uh, do you have your own place?
Yes, I do.
Are you getting any kind of government assistance?
No, I don't. I've never had government assistance. Like I said, I work in IT.
Okay.
I provide for myself.
Well, great, ma'am. But the reality is still this: on the open dating market, there are women who have everything you have and no children. Why should a man pick, all things being equal, why should a man go pick a woman with a full person that comes with them versus making his own family? You're not looking at it
So,
from the man. You're
no,
not
I
looking at it from the
understand.
man standpoint. You're looking at it from what you want. And far too many of you ladies, not only do you not bring the value that men want at the level of the man you want, You want them to accept a bad deal.
I guess the only deal is my kid. I have everything else.
But I guess the only thing is my kid. I got everything else. She did not listen to one thing I said, that having a child is implicitly a bad deal for another man. And instead of saying, dang, you're right, and how can I make this a better deal? It's I got everything else. I mean, I'm this, I'm that, but that's a big freaking deal. And she was trying to basically, it was it just me, but it was almost like she sounded like she was talking about almost like she just had a pet or something. Like, it's no big deal. It's just the kid. I mean, I'm thinking, lady, it's not a dog. It's a human being. And we're not talking a young child. We're talking a freaking preteen boy whose father died. Oh my God. And teenage mother, a teenage mother who has a boy, and his father is dead. And she's acting like, I'm in IT. And that's what far too many of you ladies do. You start to just put stuff on top of stuff. I got this, I got that, yeah, but there's a big, big issue right here. And this is why marrying before you have a child is so important, because unlike weight, unlike a lot of the things that ladies do to decrease their value, a full on person, a child is not something you can take back. All sales final here. Okay, well, here's the thing. You're 30, you're 24?
No, 24.
Well, guess what? In 8 years, he'll be 18 out of your house. Then start. But it is going to cost you. And especially, it sounds like you have a pretty nice. Do you have a pretty nice job?
Yeah, I work in IT.
Okay, I don't know. That means a lot of things. But here's the. Okay, Barbecue Trini says this. Man, I know some baddies that are baby mamas, and that shit ain't slowed down there or dating like one bit. See again, over here, we're grown damn men. We keep score in long-term relationships and marriages. We don't worry about dating. Dating is not the measurement. A lot of women can deal with men, get men, but they can't get a husband. See, a lot of you guys are just like a lot of you guys think just as simply as some of these ladies do. Just because somebody will spend money on her and have sex with her, are they wifing her legally? If not, then she's just wasting time. And ladies, when you hear guys say, and when I hear guys say this kind of stuff, I'm like, we are not the same caliber of guy. We're not thinking about the same thing. I acknowledge that there are attractive women out there who have with children who can be seen with some of the most uh, richest guys. But understand, high value, especially as far as I'm concerned, it doesn't count entertainers and athletes. I don't count high value entertainers and athletes. I count people who had to make themselves. Entertainers and athletes, in my opinion, they have a completely different life. Nothing in our day-to-day lives mirrors theirs. That's why I don't talk about athletes and entertainers. But here's the thing. I'm assuming you're going to want a man who's making at least what you make or more.
Yeah, prefer an engineer.
All right. And how much would you like a man to make?
I mean, he doesn't have to be rich. I mean,
how much would you like a man to make?
80,000.
Exactly. So you want a man you want a man that's 15 out of 100. Run the numbers, engineer. You want a man that's in the top 15% of earners, and yet you want him to accept a woman with a child when he is in the top 15%, where he's in a group that all women tend to want. It affects your value, ma'am. Wrong, Charla. Charla says you have to date to become a wife. That's why you're unmarried. That's why so many of you ladies are unmarried. Nope. You're a wife before you start dating. That's why you guys get the whole scripture about he who findeth a wife finds a good thing. Because you don't know what you're talking about. Nice try, though. Think you know it, you just don't like it, and you cannot change it. See, what we were talking about earlier, panel, is weight. See, you
Mm-hmm.
can change your weight. You cannot change the fact that you have a child, and it should cost you. It should cost you a lot because a man coming in here, he's going to have to deal with you, and if he married you, he'd have to be stepfather to a fully 10-year-old plus boy. Uh,
Right.
is he going to have full rights to discipline that child as if he was the biological father?
I mean, yeah, I mean, long as it's not abuse.
Oh, what do you mean? Okay, but see, therein lies the rub. It's
You
always
know.
going to. It's all. But see, the thing, therein lies the rub. It's always going to be your child. I've been a stepfather. It's a shitty deal.
So what,
I will
like,
say
what,
this. Here's what you do. You accept the fact that you got pregnant early,
and that's
and
fine, right?
and so. But the thing is, until you stop being selfish and start looking at it from the man's standpoint, you can almost be assured you will never deal with a man worth a damn. Oh, yes. Listen to all these
Mm-hmm.
women You're who coming don't at this from understand this.
Mm-hmm.
A selfish, entitled point of view. Listen to all these, listen to all these Christian women who don't understand how they've mangled this saying. You're a wife before you start dating? You goddamn right. You're a wife before you're married. How come so many of you be so-called Christians and not understand the very doctrine you talk about? But I get it. Far too many women think that, well, I'll open up the call line. Just admit that you don't know what's going on out here and you thought getting a husband would be as easy as getting a boyfriend. You thought that all you had to do was bring WAP to the table and that was going to be enough. You never understood what value do you bring to high value men. What value do women bring to high value men? That was this show. And what I'm seeing is a lot of you ladies, instead of asking the question in a respectful way, you're challenging with the fact of whether or not what men are talking about. We control access to marriage and relationships, not you. And he who findeth a wife findeth a good thing. The implication is you're already ready to be a wife when you're found. But the problem is the women of the village and the tribe are supposed to be working with the girls from the time she's young to make her a wife. So by the time she is of marrying age and a man decides to say, I want to marry her, and steps to her father and says, I would like to marry your daughter, and the father gives the bride away to the next man, she goes from this covering to this covering. You ladies don't seem to get it. You're out here in this modern dating world and you're just out here uncovered thinking that dating leads to marriage, and no, marriage, being a wife leads to marriage. You're not a wife. That's why you're not married. Don't mess with me. Of you, and I get it because you're saying I got young, I made a mistake, and I fought through, and I've made something of myself, and I'm a great person, and I have a great kid. But I get it, ma'am. On all that's one, but there are women who have done all that and don't have a kid. It costs.
Okay, I can understand and accept that. So,
I got to get to the rest of the panel.
okay, thank you.
Joanna. See, what I need you ladies to understand is just like her, many of you don't seem to get it. You don't understand where men are coming from or what men expect. And rightly so. The reason 1 in 4 women in our community can expect to get married is because you're not a wife. You expect, like, if you go back and listen to this show, let me take it down. If you go back and listen to this show, when I ask what value do women bring to high value men, and from caller to caller to caller, every one of them started talking about the value that they believe they bring after a man had already picked them. From the first caller through the 10th caller, it was the same thing. Well, I do this, I inspire, I'm that. I'm like, and I said to the first caller, there's a problem. The presumption that someone picks you. Then the final caller, the lady from the Dominican Republic, who said, I don't understand what's wrong with so many American women. What we bring to the table is your upbringing, your culture. And then she went out and basically described how she was a 22-year-old young lady and she was a second wife, like I talk about, and her husband, then when she wasn't looking for a high value man, he found her and pursued her, not chasing her. Pursuit is different than chasing. We'll talk about that this week too. High value men pursue, low value men chase. He pursued her, put her through college and waited. And the whole thing was, and the women on the panel said, "Well, I think that's a lovely story, but the lines didn't connect. They're just like, I don't get it, because you've not been raised to be a wife. You've not been raised to be a helpmate. You've been raised to be something else. And if you want the things you say you want, you're going to have to give men what they want. And one of the things men do not want is a child from another man. In nature, when a male takes over a pride or existing females, they kill all the cubs or all of the children from previous men. Well, we can't do that in a civilized society, but that's pretty much what men are thinking anyway. Men don't want to have children, but men don't want other men's kids, ladies. So today we're going to talk about, do you ladies understand that the caliber and kind of man that so many of you say you want, these men don't want children from another man. And for the ones that do, it's going to seriously impact your value. I want to talk to the ladies and I want to ask you some questions. Do you think it should impact your value? Because far too many women said, it's not fair, it's not fair, it's not fair, it's not fair. And in order to get in my calls, oh, Jesus Christ, y'all are already calling in. Wait a damn. Yes, we're going to have a respectful conversation, but yes, and understand, the older you are, the more it hurts. The more accomplished you are, the more it hurts. The more children you have, the more it hurts. So you go out and have a kid, understand something. There's a cost. And nothing that you say is going to change it. So you need to figure out how you're going to overcome it.
Money work. El mundo quiere dinero. Money work. Se arregla con dinero. Money work. Si me quiero educar, dormir en algún lugar, un lugar para trabajar, y si no hay para emigrar. Todo money, money, todo el dinero. Solo un par de gente se lleva el botín entero. Funny, funny, pasa verdadero. Si tienen lo verde siempre llegará primero. Pero llegaremos antes o después. Solo a lo suyo, que Dios te la dé.
Ladies only.
Que por más que tarde lo veré caer. Somos más lo bueno y tenemos fe. El dinero ya lo veré. No vendo mi alma, lo lograré. Seré el más grande, no olvidaré de dónde vengo ni cómo voy. Money work.
Go, Sierra.
El mundo quiere dinero.
Money world girl. Money world girl.
Money world.
Look at go,
Se
Sierra.
arregla con dinero. Dinero.
Hey.
Money world. Yo digo las cosas como son. No quiero ninguna aceptación. Tampoco vengo a pedir perdón, porque mis sentimientos se volvieron la canción. Yeah. No me vale mucho como tú me ves. Sabes, tú me llegas solo a los pies. Para mí ser grande es un interés. Ser un buen humano para mí es un deber. El dinero ya lo veré. No vendo mi alma, lo lograré. Seré el más grande, no olvidaré de dónde vengo ni cómo voy. El mundo quiere dinero. Money work. Se arregla con dinero. Money work. Corazón de
Oh, she ran
corazón.
away.
La plata no te hace ser feliz.
Come Dang.
Yeah, de corazón, yeah. Plata no te hace ser feliz. Money work, el mundo quiere dinero. Yeah. Money work, money work. Se arregla con dinero. Money work, lunático.
All right. Money World Girl. There we go. Ladies only, ladies only, ladies only. Ladies only can join. I don't want to hear from the guys because honestly, ain't nobody. I don't even know what y'all think. I want to talk to the women who don't seem to understand or are unclear or don't get it how having a child or having children impacts your value. This is a fair question. That's why I said it's not to try to it's not to try to insult women. It's not to try to insult women. Nope. It's not. All you have to do is, let's see. It's not to try to insult you, but it is to have a conversation. All right, I'm going to unmute you. Unmute yourself. Hello? Hello? Hi, how are you? What do you got for me?
Dealing with someone who's a single parent. Um,
Dealing with
my
somebody
thing
who,
is,
hold on. I need to be clear, we're on the same page. You want to give
okay,
your experience about dealing with a single parent?
yes,
So you want to give us your experience on dealing with a single man?
yes.
Okay, that's not this show. I'm asking how being
Uh,
a single mother impacts your options with a man.
oh well,
Yeah.
sorry, I can't really directly like respond to that, but really just as far as my experience
No, ma'am. I don't.
dealing
But
with
I
a
appreciate it,
single.
ma'am. But that's not this show. Thank you.
Okay,
Yeah, ladies. I don't. I don't need you calling in trying to change the show. You talk about the show that we have, and certainly men don't want to hear what you think because here's the thing. I'm gonna say something that's gonna be real controversial. Let me go ahead and set it on off. Shout out to all the guys who dropped the bombs. The $100 get you the bomb. So let me go ahead and shout out because let me tell you, I'm gonna go ahead and drop some bombs. If you are a man like oh, here we go. Shout out to Shaquille. Shaquille got his bomb. Shout out to Profits Over Wages. I'm gonna read all these. Shout out to Tony Williams for speaking truth to power. And shout out to Profits Over Wages. Here's the thing, Hit Squad. We men can have kids. Oh yeah, we can have kids. The rules are different for us. Especially if you're a high value man, oh, you can have children and still get high value women. Yep. High value men can have high value men can have children. Yes. 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 You can't though. It's one of the biggest double standards out there and one that pisses women off. So I know you're gonna call in now because you know it's true. Hello, Tammy. What's going on? How are you? What do you got for me? Okay, well, you didn't have anything to add? All right. All right. Um, Marta, go ahead. If you yeah, women, I don't what do y'all think that we're equal? No. Men can have children. Sorry. Uh Marta, unmute yourself. And you can unmute yourself too. See, what far too many women have bought the equality thing. This is one of the most unequal things But even back in, if you believe the Bible, men could have second wives and second lives, multiple. Look, that's how it's always been. And men have a different calculus than women. Marta, unmute yourself. Completely different dynamic. I think so many women have issue with this. This is what the first caller, this is what the young lady who called in on the other show seemed to not be able to understand, that it's no big deal. It's no big deal. It's like, why aren't the rules the same for men as they are for women? And they are different. And ladies, you don't have to like it, but you have to understand that there is a double standard. Now, it is okay. It is certainly more acceptable for men, especially high value men, or even Henrys, high earners, not rich yet. Let's just kick it. Let's just get to right down to it. There are women out here who readily deal with men who are just average guys or below average earning guys who have multiple children. I don't care if you want to be seen. You don't have to be seen. You don't have to be seen, but you do have to just unmute yourself. This is the reality, ladies. I don't know why you called into a show where you don't want to be seen or you don't want to be heard. Marta, I'm going to give you one chance to go ahead and start speaking. And if not, I'm going to just go ahead and clear your space. You don't have to be seen. All right. There you go. Do-do-do-do. And this person says their name is, dude, I'm not here to speak. Then why are you here? All right. So here we go. Tammy, all right. You didn't have anything to say though, right? Go ahead. Go ahead.
And prior to truly introducing your child, he knows you have a child, but build that relationship and show that you're a good mother. It's a little bit easier.
Okay. Okay. Easier to do what?
Easier to truly introduce your child.
Okay. Okay. So we're talking about understanding the end goal for most women is marriage. Are you a single mother?
Yes, sir.
Have you gotten married?
No, sir.
Okay. So while
I
I
have
understand,
no married
huh?
before.
Huh?
I have been married.
All right. But understand something. That's people over here. The goal over here is women wanting to be married.
Truly.
Not to women to be married. That's the ultimate goal. It's not just to date.
I understand.
So, I mean, I do agree that it is, women can date, but marriage is a different standard, especially when you start going up the socioeconomic status. But thank you. I'm going to put you back there. Some more people. Thanks for calling in, Tim. And she's right, but this is also kind of what a lot of the relationship gurus and things will say, that, you know, single mothers end up in eternal side chick status, and side chick means unmarried. So, if you're all right with never getting married, that's fine. Put you in the waiting room. All right. So, Mimi, go ahead and unmute yourself. Unmute yourself. You need to unmute yourself. Hello? Why? Okay, you couldn't listen from the chat room though. I mean, I'm trying to understand why people do. Did you have nothing to say? I mean, you came from over to YouTube to the call in, so you just here to listen. But you found it on the YouTube though, right? All right, so
I'm not a single mom, so can I talk about it? I
not
mean,
really. I mean, you can. Then you have nothing to participate in because you're not a man, so you wouldn't be with one. And if you're not a single mother, what if you're really trying to get information? What is your opinion going to change
my opinion
to a
on it.
woman? To a woman, what's your opinion going to change?
What's my opinion on it?
Yeah,
Or
no, 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 no. Okay, why should anybody care about what you got to say if you're not a man or if you're not a single mother?
no, I'm just listening just to listen and hear.
All right. Yeah, don't call in my show just to be. You can listen from the chat room. Don't call into the show just to get up here. Whitney, go ahead. Hello. How are you? What do you?
Mother.
Okay, go
I
ahead.
am, I'm sorry, what was that?
Go ahead. You're a single mother, and
Okay, I'm a single mother. I have 2 kids.
all right.
My first one I had young. I was 16. My last one I had last year. And
How old
honestly,
are you now?
I'm 27.
Okay.
Okay. And what you're saying is true. I've had some problems dating. Well, getting truly serious with high value men. I've had some high value dates. And it's just never seemed to really go anywhere. So I'm really calling in because I don't know what to do. Like, I don't know what to do. I've had some nice guys, lawyers, doctors, and they really like me, but I don't know. I mean,
So
I know it's
your
true.
first
I'm
child
not
is
here to
10 years
deny.
old.
Huh?
Your first child is 10.
My first child is 10. My last child is 10 months.
Okay, so I gotta ask the elephant in the room.
Yeah.
Why do you have a second child?
I have a second child because, I mean, 10 years later, I just decided to have another kid.
By
And I
who?
thought that it would,
By who?
by my child's father.
Okay, so from a man from the outside in, first thing you said is I had my first child and I was young, 16. All right,
Hmm.
but then you add the other block that you're still dealing with your baby daddy, and you had another child 10 years later, outside of marriage, as a fully grown woman in the danger zone. The world is not going to give you any pass for that. And you say you've had problems getting serious with other men
Yes.
because other men look at that and say she's not worth getting serious with.
Really?
Okay, ma'am, you've reproduced twice for a man you've not asked to marry you.
Well, we've had like,
Ma'am,
I
the
just kind of, I
I
seen
need
how
you to
hard it was
understand. I
after the first
understand the
one.
reality of it. You have reproduced twice with the man you have not required to marry. Right?
True.
So why should another man who you have not had any child with anything? Men are simple. We look at the highest price other men had to pay, and we want to pay that. You let your most expensive product go for nothing. And then you turned around and sold it to the same buyer again for nothing. So, what city do you live in?
Florida, Orlando.
So, let's say you go to Orlando. Let's say you have Saks Fifth Avenue in Orlando. Okay. You go to Saks Fifth Avenue and you see something in the Louis Vuitton store. And there's this expensive Louis Vuitton bag, $15,000 bag, but they give it to you for free. Okay. Then next year you go back in, they give you another bag, Louis Vuitton bag for free. Then you go in the next year and they say, you know those bags we've been giving you? Yeah, we need you to pay $20,000 for it. If you had the money, would you give it to them?
No, but Kevin, like, listen, this is why. I mean, I guess it don't really matter why when it, from a consumer standpoint. But I seen this how, like, long story short, like a lot of women, and it's a mistake at the end of the day, but a lot of women try to make their family work, and it just for
Why
whatever
didn't you?
reason
Why,
didn't.
okay, man, but why didn't you? Okay, I get that, and I can give you the credit for that. But there's one thing you didn't do. What's that?
Didn't get married and didn't require for it to happen. Um,
Right.
and that's true.
So I'm not saying anything about not making your family work. My thing is, if you'd have told me you had another kid by another dude, that would have been honestly better in this scenario. But the fact that you decide to have another kid by the same guy and you never required marriage, ma'am, the chances of getting married are that's what you go for. You let it go for nothing. So the you said you've dated you dated attorneys, right?
Kevin, I mean, I guess.
We look at the highest price other. Excuse me.
I'm sorry, kind of. I heard you for a second and then it stopped, so I don't know
Oh,
what happened.
okay, you dated attorneys. You said.
I have.
All right. So sold it to the same buyer. What the hell? Let me go ahead and put you back.
Can you hear me?
I can. Hello.
Okay, I don't know. Okay, I'm gonna try this again. So yes, I in between that time because we separated. Well, we broke up. I won't say separated since we were never married, but we broke up, and in between that time, for about a solid 5 years, I dated, and I've had some high earning men, but you know, just didn't work out, and it was always like, okay, why are you not with the father? I got these questions, so it's like I don't. It's almost feel like you tied to your child's father because you have a child by him. I just want
Yes,
advice. I don't
yes,
really.
you are. Okay, yes. Newsflash, yes. Yes, you are tied to the man you reproduce with. See, women like yourself want the world. You don't want it to cost you anything. I had a baby by a man. I didn't require being married, and we broke up. So you're just like the first caller, like the lady I played, that you don't want to be tied to this man. But man, why did you have a baby without getting married? Is what the world says. And all you got to say is, I was young and dumb and da da da. And the world says,
Right.
oh, well, you did the crime. You got to do the time. That's why men don't take women like you seriously, especially high earning men. Now, you call him high value. I'm not going to go down the path of whether or not high value, but he's certainly a higher earner. Why would a higher earner need to take what is your baby daddy do for a living?
He has his own business, like an automotive business. He
What
fix
does
and
he do
sell
for a
cars.
living?
He
Give me
sell
what
cars.
he sells cars. He owns a dealership.
No, he doesn't.
Okay, so he's a hustler.
Yeah, he's not. Well, he has it's a legitimate like
Okay,
job,
but
but he doesn't own
okay,
the
how does he
dealership.
sell cars?
He fixes them. He basically is a mechanic. He fixes them. He auctions. He
So
does a
let me
few
just go
things.
right on in there, ma'am. You got to do that. He doesn't have. I mean, when I say what does he do? You try to pretty it up. He's got his own business, and that's why I got real close. So he has a car lot. Nope. He'll buy a car, fix it up, and sell it. He flips cars.
Basically,
So you think an attorney. So I need you ladies to understand something. You think a man who's had to go to high school to college to law school, pass the bar, wants to wife up a woman who had a child by a guy who flips cars. You think these kind of men want to introduce you? I need you to understand. You think a man like that wants to introduce you as his wife to a cocktail party to his colleagues. Hey Rob, hey Ron, here's my wife. Yes, I'm raising her 10-year-old son by, and they start asking you these questions and you start with this whole flipping car stuff. They're like, God damn, why'd you marry? I'm sorry, ma'am. But they're going to say, why'd you marry a woman like that? You know this is how the world works, right?
I know, and I'm calling into the show because it's true. It happened with this guy. He honestly really liked me too. He did a lot for me. He moved me into a
But
place
why
and
did you
everything.
have the
But
second? But see, the thing is, what you haven't gone into. I don't care about the guy. I need to know why you decided to compound this, and you have you have less. Ma'am, you're screwed. You're screwed in an open dating market. You are fooked. You need to go back to your car flipping dude,
I
and he.
don't know. Okay, all right, all right. I guess you got a point, but
I need you to
it's
slow I need you to slow the French toast down. You just had another baby for this guy.
we
And you
attempted to
acted
get
like I
back
told
together.
you
It
asked
did
and
not
hold
work.
on, shush. I'm serious. Hold on, man. I need you seriously. Let me say this. You're acting like having a baby's no big deal. You just had
Oh, it's
another
a big
baby for
deal.
this guy. And I say go back to him. And then somebody's like, oh, that's why no man worth his salt was going to take you seriously. And I hate to say it that way, man, but I'm telling you what I'm hearing. Why did you have another baby before you got married? Is the question, though.
I think my answer is not really going to.
I just need
Long
the
story
truth.
short, I had a child with him when I was 16.
Got it.
I was thrown out. I was thrown out of my house at that time from my mom's. I grew up in a weird type of household, and his family helped me. So I was
Okay.
with him as a teenager. I didn't know any
I
better
get
when I
it, but
had the
ma'am,
first one.
you're
So
fully a
long story,
grown, but you're a grown woman when you had the
right?
second one.
Let me
So
answer my
I can't give
question.
you any hard luck childhood. It's a hard knock life
No,
shift. I need to give you the 10-year. No. I need you to give me the grown woman answer who's had to live with a 10-year-old and know what that does on the open dating market. That's what the story you just told us. Y'all broke up.
right,
And listen, you told a story about how you and this guy dated and you had a hard knock life, but you broke up. And then you went out to the real world and dated men who are lawyers and all this other kind of stuff. And you saw that they would not get serious with you because of the very questions I'm asking you. And now you're going to come tell the same story and decide to have another baby.
okay. So the reason we got back together is because, like, I had only been with two people in between that time. And every time I got with a person, that's why, like, again, I'm calling into the show for that reason. Every time I got with a person, it was a higher value guy, but
Higher
it will
earning,
always be,
ma'am.
why
Higher
are you
earning.
with, higher earning guy? And they would, long story short, they would not, they wouldn't move too much forward because I had a child, so I ended up just going back to the child's father, because it was kind of
But you
hard
didn't
to
have, but
date.
ma'am, I get it. You end up going back to him because you couldn't get a better man. That's what it
True.
comes down to. I can't get a better man because I'm tied to this car flipping dude. Right?
Right.
All right. And I'm not trying to diss him, but you couldn't get a better man. That's what you're effectively saying. So the thing is, if you couldn't get a better man, you know it's because you're tied to him and that child, right?
Yes.
So why go make an infant and tie yourself even longer? Okay, you went and committed a crime young, and they didn't give you adult years. They gave you juvenile years, and you were about 8 years off of probation, right? Then you decide to go reoffend and commit it and go get 18 to 20. You go get another 20 years, and they're gonna make you serve that. That's what you have effectively done. Do you understand it now?
I understood it from the beginning. I guess what you're saying is there is no hope for that type of
And
situation.
there shouldn't
But
be, ma'am.
there ain't.
Honestly, in my personal opinion, this is my personal. It shouldn't be. If you're a young mother and go get a young mother, and then you turn around and make the same decision 10 years later, you've learned nothing. You've learned nothing because you chose to give a guy who can he afford to take care of you and his 1, 2 children? on his own,
I say no.
then, ma'am, you are the one that I blame. Because you had a second child by a man who cannot afford to take care of you. No man should come by and have to be responsible for this. You made this mess. Angie, unmute yourself. I don't get why some of you ladies just act like these kids are no big deal and like, oh well, like there's no hope. Well, yeah, you made it this way. Angie, unmute yourself. Uh, who is this? Hello. Go ahead. Go ahead, mute you. All right. Angie, unmute yourself. Or Kay, unmute yourself. Hello? Yes. What do you have for me? I'm good. How are you? All right. What you got for me?
6. I just had a baby actually out of wedlock. We were together for 7 years. And now we're not. So my baby is 7 months now. And I guess I'm in my therapy time. That's what I'm doing right now. I got into therapy like a month ago, and we've been broken up about a month and a half. And yeah, I'm on the next path, I guess.
Okay. Well, kudos for being in therapy.
Yeah.
But the first question that comes to my mind is, why? You've been with a guy since 19, right?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Why would you get pregnant at 25?
Irresponsible. I yeah, I was on birth control, then I wasn't.
What does he do for a living?
He has a college degree, but he's currently like a youth director for like a center.
What is he?
He was a college athlete. He had his degree and then he graduated and now he's
Where does he live?
Florida.
With who?
He lived with his grandmother, and now he has his own place, like a
But when you got pregnant, he was living with his grandmother.
Yeah.
And so you guys didn't get married for what reason?
We were young. We are young.
Apparently not.
Yeah,
Man,
that
young
young.
people get married all the time.
We weren't ready. We weren't ready to be married.
What do you mean you weren't ready to be married? Were you guys together monogamously?
Yes.
So you see, why do you hold on? Far too many sisters will sit in these long relationships with men, and you won't go down to the courthouse, but you'll live like common law, man and wife. But now look at you. You don't even have to, now you got a child and you're effectively a baby mama, which you would have been at least a single mother. This entire story you told would have sounded a hell of a lot better, even him living with his grandmother, if you guys would have been a struggling young couple married trying to raise a kid. The way you told this story, what do you think is going to do to your opportunities to date other men, especially higher earning men on the open dating market?
It definitely hinders it. I've already knew that knew that for a minute. But I mean, I guess I don't believe this takes me off the market, to be honest.
Oh, you don't? Oh, you don't, do you?
I don't. I don't
Really?
believe so.
Oh, well, let's talk about it.
Okay.
You're 20 what? 26.
20. I'll be 26.
And how tall are you?
I'm 5'5".
Dress size?
I'm like a 6'8", maybe.
And how much did you weigh last time you weighed yourself?
I weigh 160.
Still got the baby weight on you. And your child's how old?
I don't have the baby weight on me.
Well, I was trying to give you the benefit of the doubt because you're overweight.
All right. I'm quite slim, but
no, you're not. I'm looking, man. Okay. Again,
I'm
an image
5'5".
look, lady. Look. You're overweight. You should be 120, 5'6". You should be about 130 pounds. So let's keep on moving because you're not going to win that battle with the image consultant. You can tell me you look good and all this other kind of stuff, but see, the market is my clients, my guys. And you don't think it takes you off the market. Okay, who do you think? What do you do for a living?
I work in the medical field. It's like I work as like a desk job.
How many children would you like to have total?
3.
3 total.
Yeah.
All right. Would you like to stay at home or would you like to have to go to work?
I would like to stay at home.
Okay, so you want to be a stay-at-home mother for your husband, but you're already a working mother with your child.
Yes.
Right. So, in the city, did you say you lived in?
Miami, Florida.
Miami, one of the toughest dating markets in the country. All right. How much would it cost for a man to have a stay-at-home mother of 1, 2, 3 children, living a middle-class life to where his wife does not have to work? The kids could all live in a middle-class life, could go to college if they want to and have their college paid for. Just the American dream. How much would a man need to make in Miami to afford for his wife to stay at home like that?
Well, from stuff I've heard on your channel and just living here in Miami, I would assume maybe like at least $200,000, maybe.
200,000?
Maybe 150. Yeah.
Lean forward a little bit more.
All right. 250.
No, you're closer to 350. Miami.
All right.
How many men earn that kind of money? What percentage of men in this country earn $300,000, $325,000 plus? What percentage?
Oh, I don't know it, but I know I watch your channel, so I'm sure it's not that many.
Oh no, give me a number though.
I don't know, maybe like in Miami, that amount of men, maybe
go ahead.
Less than 10%.
I said in the country, ma'am, but in the country, we're talking about less than 5% men.
Mm-hmm.
So if you're talking for a man that's 5, and that's not adjusted for a lot of things. Do you have a race preference? Do you need him to be black or do you care?
I like black men, but I'm open to date.
So you'd marry a white man and have a white man's children? Okay, so you want a black man.
I want a black man.
So let's knock the bullshit off. You want a black man who's making $300,000, $325,000 plus, and those are even more rare. Why would he want a baby mama? Who does not require her baby daddy to marry her, and she's working.
I did require.
No. You didn't know, man. You did not require him to marry you before you had a child, and correct. You are a baby mama working right now. Why should this man who's had to make himself in the top 5% of all men marry you and allow you not to have to work to have his 2 kids when you already have 1 child and you have to work?
Guess he don't have to have me then.
No, you said it didn't take you off the market. And I said, yeah, it does for what you're talking about, but you can still be a side chick. You can be a side chick to a guy like that, but be his wife? You can't even tell me, you can't even make this make sense.
Well, I'm here to learn.
Well, here's what you learn. First off, the entitlement, the nerve of thinking that you're not off the market for what you want is rank arrogance. You're going to have to work for the rest of your life. After you get them 2 kids, you're going to work. Like 72% of all mothers in this country, they have to work.
All right.
I mean, you're working now, right?
Mm-hmm.
Right. And are you a prospect to be somebody's wife right now?
I believe so, yes.
Okay, tell me why.
Well, I answered that question in the ways of someone else, but no, I'm not, because I have a child and I'm working on, I need to work on myself right now, and that's what I'm doing. So no, I'm not a prospect to be somebody's
But
wife.
you need but see, here's the thing, man. You want a higher caliber man than the man you had a child with. Men look at the woman and her past and judge the price. You gave a lower caliber man your most valuable item, and you gave it away for free. That's your womb. You gave him your womb for free. He can't even take care of himself. So you gave your womb away for free, and you went out and had a child for a man who was living with his big mama. That makes you sound, I'm going to use the word, ma'am, and I need you to hold on, okay? Because I'm
Mm-hmm.
not trying to insult you. I really am not. But on the open market, that makes you sound like a loser. That you would choose to have a child for a man like that.
Okay. Wow.
If I could let you be a fly on the wall when I'm talking to men of the kind of earning potential you're talking about, and let you ladies hear how these men talk about women who choose to go have babies out of wedlock, and hear these ridiculous stories like yours and the previous caller. That's what these guys are saying. What? But you want me to be an attorney and then marry you and then bring you around my colleagues and clients and have to explain to that backstory? That will make them look bad. Do you see what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm. No,
So
I understand.
so why can't you get why aren't you just married to the guy you have a child with?
We
Angie, you're next.
Yeah.
Go ahead. I mean, I, I get it, ma'am. You don't feel like you're that old. You feel like you're pretty young. You look at yourself in the mirror and you look at your height and your weight compared to the rank and file black woman and say, I'm still in shape. I look good. But that's fine, ma'am. But in
Bare minimum.
Miami, huh?
That's the bare minimum.
Well,
To
but the thing in Miami, that's never been enough. You have a full child, and any man who decides to marry you, they're going to have to take on the financial responsibility of that child because it doesn't sound like your baby daddy can afford to pay attention. And to think that somebody's going to come along and say, well, you can be a wife and stay at home when they could go out and get a woman who has no children. And that person, the person you're raising right now, is a baby. It's not even walking. But when he's up and about, you all kind of things come with kids, disciplinary issues. And I've been a stepfather. It's a shitty deal. You got all cost and no benefit. Angie, what's going on?
Yes.
What you got for me?
all single mothers in the same boat.
Oh, ma'am, now hold on. We can't have a conversation about the not all, because if you want to give me anecdotal and you know a person who it worked out for, that you don't move a conversation that way.
Okay, well, you want to know about me?
How old are you?
I am 49. Am I too old for the conversation?
No, you can go ahead. I'm just asking.
Okay. Well, here's my situation. Okay, my son's father, he died of an aneurysm when our son was a year old. And to tell you the truth, I was really told that I could never have children, which is why we did not use protection because, I did not think I could ever have a child, but I had my first child at 43. To me, that's a blessing. And like I said, he died from an aneurysm when our child was a year old,
How long were you guys together?
about 2 years.
So you got pregnant at 43.
Yes.
Okay. So you're an older woman with a kindergartner.
Yes.
All right. So what? And what?
So in a way, I just said that because I don't know. I mean, I don't know every single mother's,
I don't.
situation.
I mean, but we're talking about the men. Are you wanting to get married?
Well, right now,
Yeah, that's what we're talking about.
okay. Well,
Single mothers can't get high value men. How does being a baby mama affect your value? So that implies to another man. So if you're 49 and happy with if you're 49 and happy with being a 5-year old, cool. But it only matters when it comes down to do you want to get married?
Okay, but aren't we talking about single mothers and why their value is downplayed
But it's downplayed to who, ma'am?
to men who want to date women? I
No,
mean,
not date, not date.
so this is strictly marriage.
Well, see, that's the end goal for most women. But you're 49 and you, due respect, you've gone. Have you been married in your life?
Have you ever been married?
Yes.
No.
Okay, so as a 43-year-old, so you have never prioritized marriage because you're not, or you haven't been a wife. So it doesn't surprise me that dating is what's on, and that's cool. But most women don't want to get to your age to have a child for the first time accidentally, and then go through life as a older woman with a kindergartner. I don't think
Okay.
many women want to have that as a situation, especially by themselves.
Okay, but like I said, my situation is different because
Okay,
I
it's,
was
it's,
told I
it's
could never
different,
have
man. But
children.
but your situation is different, and it only matters if you want to have a man. That's the conversation. You being all right with you is fine. Kudos to you. But how is it going to be helpful to the 5,000 people in this chat room that you find by yourself in your kindergarten?
Because I want to relay a message to
What
these
message do you want to
men.
relay to them?
You're not allowing me to,
Because
sweetie.
I
Can
need to
I?
get on to the damn show. What message do
Okay,
you want to relay to
okay.
them?
I just want to tell the men that not all women's situations are the same. You can't just look at all single women.
You gonna come on my show at 50 years old with a kindergartner trying to tell men what not to do? Are you out of your mind? I want to tell our men that wow. Young ladies, that woman should be a grandmother. Talking about, we didn't know we could get married. Of course, I didn't know I could have a baby. So now you got a oops baby at 50. Hello? What you got for me? Do you have a child? Okay.
So I have a question. I am a baby mama.
Okay.
I am just, I'm nervous, sorry.
That's all right.
Okay, so I guess I want to know, how do I increase my value? I'm not necessarily looking for a high value man. I am
How old is your
looking for,
child?
my daughter is 9.
Uh, What does her father do for a living?
Her father is in the military.
He say what?
In the military?
He's in the military.
Yes.
Okay. What's his rank or what is? I mean.
What's his rank?
Hmm?
E5.
Okay. So you have a, and what do you do for a living?
I'm a nurse.
All right. So I did a program talking about the kind of women high value men avoid, and nurses, and then women who were married to former police or military. And I'm gonna
Yes,
tell
sir.
you,
I'm not.
huh?
Oh, I'm sorry.
I'm gonna tell
I'm
you
sorry.
why I said that, because you want to know how you can raise your value, or what your value is on the market.
I guess my question is this. Let me try to word it correctly. I'm so nervous because I just started watching your show for like
Don't be
maybe
nervous. I mean, just as long
it's
as
the
you're
fourth
polite, we're
one.
fine.
This is the fourth show, and I never thought I would call because like I'm kind of scared of you. But I caught myself calling today.
She froze up. She froze.
Dating.
Okay.
I'm in a relationship with someone, and marriage is what I want.
Okay.
And I do know, like, because I have a child and he doesn't have a child, I know how that could affect the relationship. And when you were talking about how guys think,
So I need you to
so
get. So you're dating a guy. You want to get married.
I want us to get married, but
Okay. Do you want to get married, or do you want to marry him?
having a child, is that going to affect it? We talk
Okay.
about it,
Stop. Stop. Stop.
and
Stop. Stop. You keep pausing out. I need to understand. Do you want to? Let me do this. Let me stop your video because maybe that's the problem. Do you want to get married, or you want to marry him?
I want to get married, and
Okay.
I want
How
to marry him.
how long have you been dating him?
2 years and a half. Well, it's more than a half. It'll be
So
3 years next month.
all right. He doesn't want to marry you.
Is that what you're getting, or is that what you're asking?
No, I'm telling you, he doesn't want to marry you.
Okay, why do you feel that way?
You're a baby mama.
Okay.
All right. And he's been dating a baby mama for 2.5 years. Has he proposed to you?
No, sir.
Then he doesn't want to marry you. It's a real simple calculus. Men know going in whether or not they want to marry the woman they're dealing with. You want to marry him because you got 2.5 years in it and your kid knows them, and it just makes it easier. But you didn't require marriage for 2.5 years of your time.
I did, but
No, you didn't. You did not require marriage for 2.5 years of your time with him. So you're afraid to try to push for marriage because you know, just like I do, he's going to end up stepping. If you push for marriage, this is what's going to happen. He's going to be out. That's what's going to happen. As soon as you push a marriage, he's going to say no.
well, oh, okay. Why do you feel that way though? Can
Because
you
I'm a
like
man
help
and I
me
know men.
understand?
Ma'am,
Okay. So
ma'am, if he
with
wanted to,
us,
okay, ma'am, if he wanted to marry you, what's stopping him?
no, that's what I'm saying. I mean, I don't feel as if I don't know if anything is stopping him, but I just
Yes,
know in like
yes,
working
there
on
is something that's stopping him. He doesn't want to. Why is it this so hard for you ladies to understand that men know if a woman is a marrying type or a side chick or a girlfriend? If he wanted, he is single with no children. Why would he want to marry you if he's had you for 2.5 years? He's not proposed to you. Has he talked about marrying you?
Yeah, that's the thing.
Has
We've
he?
talked about it.
How long ago?
We just both finished school. That's the thing about it too. We were both pursuing.
Right. School. So when you're in school, you can't get married. You know, there's a law in the United States that says people in school cannot get married.
I just didn't
How old are
want, I
you,
mean, I'm 28.
ma'am? You don't like the answer, but in your heart, you know it's true. You bring up
So
the
what
subject.
should I do?
Well, I'm sorry, man, but if you want to get married, this is a dead end relationship. There's nothing stopping a man. Okay, so tell me how this couldn't happen. 6 months into the relationship, he could have went down and bought a little silver wedding ring and said, "Hey, F, I want to marry you, and I want your child to be my child. I want to marry you, and I want to adopt your child. Now we're both in school. We both ain't got no money, but do you have an apartment?
Yes, sir.
Does he have an apartment?
Yes, sir.
So you see how you could have saved money right off the bat 2 years ago if you just would have got married and moved forward. If he really wanted to marry you, that rent that he would have saved or you would have saved, let's just call it $700, which is more than that, but we're gonna call it $700. That's $8,400 in rent a year. That's $16,000, almost $17,000 in rent saved alone in your 2 years. That's how men think. You would have saved around $20,000 if he really wanted to marry you. He could have married you years ago while you were in school struggling. They don't want to marry you, lady. And I know you don't want to hear this, but you didn't make it a requirement.
Okay. Well, without going into, I'll take that. So I guess, what advice would you give a person like me that wants marriage and I guess is not
Well, why didn't you marry your baby
way?
daddy? That's the first thing I started. Why didn't you marry him?
I would love to have married him because I would have loved to have my family together.
Why didn't you marry him?
He proposed, but I don't know if it was like the cultural difference.
Hold on. He proposed. He got on one knee, presented you a ring.
Yes, sir.
And proposed to you.
Yes, sir.
And you turned him down?
No, sir.
You accepted?
Yes, sir.
And then why aren't you married?
And then his mother didn't want him to get married to me.
So you had a baby for a pussy?
Yes, sir.
So did you already have a child by the time he proposed?
Yes, sir. We had our child first. He's older than me.
Stop.
Mm-hmm.
How much older?
5 years.
So a man who's 5 years older than you, y'all got pregnant. You had a child. He proposed to you. You accepted. Who broke off the engagement?
I did.
All righty then. Case closed. You broke off the engagement. He didn't. So I don't want to hear shit about his mother or anything else. You left. I don't want to hear shit about his mother. You left. You blaming it on his mother and the culture, and other people will hear that. I'm a man. I don't buy that shit. You left. He proposed to you. He did what he was supposed to do. You ended it.
Okay, so I guess maybe I should say he ended it if that's the case, because I had to accept what he was saying at that moment.
Exactly. Okay.
Like,
whoa.
My mother.
Stop. He wanted to marry you, right? He proposed to you. You already had the child, right?
Yes, sir.
Then, so since you want to do this, let's do it. You already had the kid. He proposed. You accepted. But you didn't get married because you had to accept what?
You're tough.
No, I'm real. You left your baby daddy and you left your fiance for what reason?
He left me basically. He wasn't. It's nothing that I could really explain over the Zoom, but it's all right.
Ma'am, you bounced between you left and he left. At the end of the day, who ended the engagement?
He said, my mom doesn't feel like I should marry she wants me to marry somebody the family wants. So I just took that as if, okay, then apparently you guys don't want me. So I just kind of sat back. I still was trying to pursue my family and everything else, but at the same time, I can't do what you're not doing. Like, he was military. He was never here. When he came in town, he was with his mother. He's a great father. He comes get her.
Unfortunately, ma'am, I have to break it to you, This is why you don't have a child before you get married.
I know, and I
Well,
didn't
I'm
want
sorry,
to.
man. And here's the thing. I get it. But again, the tears, I understand them. But the
Because
work,
you're really like,
no, ma'am, I need you to understand because you said I'm tough. But it
you
sounds to me
are.
as though you don't want to hear, but it sounds like you need some of this because you live in a fantasy land. You're
No,
not
I've
married.
had tough
Listen,
all my
ma'am, I'm going to mute
life.
you. You're not married to your baby daddy. And you're in a 2.5 year relationship with a guy who doesn't want to marry you. Maybe tough is what you need. I'm sorry, the men don't get to cry about our mistakes. You're a grown woman. You're not underprivileged. You didn't get pregnant at 13. You were in your 20s, got pregnant to a mama's boy. And you knew he was a mama's boy before you got pregnant. And because he tried to do this and he said, well, mama don't want you this. Look, I don't care how you slice it. That's the legacy of your kid. And you wonder why the guy you're with is saying, see, you ladies don't want to hear the truth. You want people to say, "Well, it's okay, sis. It's all right. Bad man, bad man. Your baby daddy's a bad man. Your boyfriend's a bad man, and you're totally innocent in all this. Your feelings are got hurt, and it doesn't matter. And then as soon as you start crying, guys are supposed to say, "Well, well, no, queen. No, I'm not. That's not me. No." You're a grown ass educated woman and you decided to make a bad decision having a child before you got married, and you in this country, I'm in this country. You know that's a horrible way to do things. You're not a high school dropout. You're not a freaking orphan. You're a college educated woman. You should have known better. And because you didn't, I get it. But you don't go ahead and compound stuff by acting like you don't know any better and then going to get into another relationship with a guy who may have thought you were a great person, but you've been with him for 20, 30 months. And there's nothing stopping him from proposing to you. He doesn't want to marry you either. So instead of sitting back saying, you're tough, you need to ask, why am I dealing with men who don't want to marry me and I continue to linger on and try to make it become something that it never was? So if that's tough, call me tough. Go ahead.
Oh, thank you.
Go to the next caller.
Hey.
Hello.
Hi.
Hi, how are you?
I'm good. I'm good. How are you?
Good. You have any children?
I do. I have a daughter.
Ah, you got that English accent. Go ahead.
Yes. So I guess I'm calling in because I know, well, it's super early over here. It's like 4 a.m.
Mhm.
And I saw the title, so I thought maybe I can kind of go through my situation
Go ahead.
and get your harsh criticism.
It's not. See, it's only harsh in two things.
No, it's fine.
No.
It's
I'm
fine.
gonna tell you, it's only harsh when someone is rude to me or they start shirking accountability and responsibility.
Yeah.
But go ahead. You got a clean slate.
Okay, cool. So yeah, so I'm 27. I have a daughter, she's 3. I'm not with her dad anymore due to domestic violence. And now I'm in a situation where obviously I'm single. It's been probably a year and a half now. And I do want to, date again. Well, I have been dating. I've been dating a high value man, but I do want marriage. So I guess kind of go with what you'd say. What do you think?
Well, okay, you're not with your child's father.
No.
Is he still alive?
Yeah, he's still alive.
Okay, what does he do for a living?
He's in recruitment.
He's in recruitment. He's a headhunter.
Yeah.
And you're currently dating.
hmm
Are you in a committed monogamous relationship with the person you're dating?
Well, that's what he leads me to believe, but we're in a long distance relationship. And the last
Oh
time I saw
yeah,
him was, yeah,
I love all you cute women in long distance relationships with men who are high earners. I mean,
yeah,
let's
I
let's
know.
define a relationship. A
hmm
relationship, and I was talking to I talked to lots of women who are in these long distance relationships. And what do
Yeah.
you see when you're in a long distance relationship? You see the person's best foot forward over a short
Also,
time. How long have you guys been dating?
coming up to a year now.
A year. And where's he and where are you?
So I'm in London and he's in Canada.
Canada?
hmm
All right. Um, so I mean, I gotta ask the question.
Yeah.
As a single mother, you can't if you want marriage, you can't afford to play. Has he talked about why has he not proposed?
Well, he wants to come back to London
Okay.
next month,
Okay.
and we've kind of had the conversation about marriage and stuff moving forward, and it all seems to be, something that he's interested in. But I mean, he hasn't proposed yet, so I don't know. We'll see when he gets here.
If you had to get on an airplane that was as stable as what you told me, would you put you and your child on it and fly?
Well, I'm not traveling at the moment.
No,
No,
no, you understand the example. The explanation you just gave me. If that was an airplane, would you put your child on it and fly?
no,
Why?
because the high risk right now.
No. Forget COVID. I'm talking
Oh,
about
okay,
the explanation you just gave me as to why you're not engaged.
right.
If that explanation was an aircraft, would you put your child on
Oh
it and fly?
no, no way.
So why are you trying to give it to me?
Um,
Because it's the best I got. I'm dating a guy long distance, and long distance
yeah,
relationships, especially over an extended period of time, are fraught
yeah.
with failure rate.
hmm
On your
Okay,
first date,
yeah.
did you make it clear that you're dating towards with marriage as a goal only?
No, I didn't
All
make
right,
it
well then
clear.
you got what you got.
Yeah.
So listen,
Okay.
ladies, I got a group with hundreds of men in there, and all the guys in there are on pretty much the same page. They're dating with marriage in mind. See, this is where this whole marriage thing comes in. Men who want to get
Yeah.
married date differently than guys who are just out here dating. And not too many of you ladies are just out here dating and just hoping it works out. That's why the last woman was in tears because I told her the truth. He doesn't want to
hmm
marry you, and he'll let this go on. Why would he end a relationship where he's getting consistent female attention? I don't know. Uh, he's
Okay.
he's in he's in Canada. You're in
Yeah.
London. Why can't you date a man in London?
Well, that's my next point is that with him, obviously, there's been like signs that he might not be 100% serious. Sometimes someone will tell
Signs,
you
you
one
think?
thing. Yeah, yeah, yeah. So no, I'm with you on that. And I've had advice from friends and stuff.
What
But
do
I
you?
am dating someone else.
Okay, so are you? That's why I asked you if you guys were monogamous, and you
Yeah.
said that
Well,
he gave. No, 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 no.
okay, okay.
Okay, I'm a very good listener. I said, are you guys in a monogamous committed relationship? And your answer was yes. He's given me signs that we are, but I'm not sure. But it sounds
Yeah.
as though you are not doing. It sounds like you're not doing. You're not monogamous. You're dating.
Yeah.
Would he think you're cheating on him if he found out you were dating?
Um,
Be honest.
dating,
Be
probably.
honest. Be honest.
Yeah,
All right.
he would.
So, th- hold on. Lean a little forward. I mean, you're sitting here playing games. And that's why I
I'm
said,
not.
and see, the thing is, I would care less if you're dating. I would think it would make sense to be dating if you're not in the
Mhm.
same city. See, a
Yeah,
relationship implies that you're close enough to relate. Long
yeah,
distance relationships should always have an end date certain, meaning
yeah.
this: your first name is Siobhan? Siobhan? So let's say I came
Mhm,
into Tom Ford in London, which I love to do and I hope to possibly do. Anyway, let's say we met. And I said, oh,
mhm.
yeah, she's my type. Oh, and lovely daughter. All right, Siobhan. You're in London. I'm in Atlanta. All right. This obviously does not work for various reasons. We can FaceTime, Skype, Zoom, or whatever. But if you want to move forward and get married, if you know you want to get married, I know I want to get married. Look, we only need to be doing this for 3 to 6 months before one of us is going to have to move if this thing works.
Yeah,
You haven't required that. You're just going. You have a guy in London. You got a guy in Canada who sounds great, but ain't your man, and you ain't his woman. Because if you were,
mhm.
you wouldn't be going on a date with other guys. He's the best you got, and I get it. But from what you're telling me, the likelihood of him moving back to London for you is low. He may move back to London, and you'll be there, but you guys aren't even moving like a couple.
Yeah,
Long distance relationships, they were a specialty of mine in my early 20s because they're great for runners and commitment folks and people who are still trying to figure out what they want.
hmm
But you have a daughter. Do you want to have more children?
yeah, I do.
All right. What kind of lifestyle do you want for your daughter and you?
Um, the type of lifestyle that I would like would be upper middle class lifestyle.
All right. Well, then it will be best to date men who can provide that kind of lifestyle in the area you're in with uh with that being laid out front. If you know you want
Mm,
marriage, stamp it on your forehead and don't go out with anybody who does not know they want to be married within
yeah,
a time frame. Not this, oh, I'm open to marriage. No, I want to be married inside the next 2 years.
yeah.
Because do you think a man should meet your child before engagement?
No,
All right, then. So, in order for him to meet his to be stepchild, you need to get to it.
right. So, is there a time that's too early for someone to suggest marriage, or
Suggest marriage.
well, for someone to say they want, like, they can see being married to you in like the next 3 months, the next 6 months?
I've said
What's
it. I've said it before, and I will say it again. I believe that men who know they want to be married, you should be married in 6 months or less. And I
uh,
have, and I again, people who push back on this channel platform. I have 3 guys that I know right now who have
mhm.
been with their significant person, and they're already talking marriage, and it's been in the less than 90 days for many of them. So look,
Yeah.
I,
hmm
I would just say drop the long distance thing. I mean, it's fun. He may have great stats, but it doesn't sound very real. Or else you wouldn't
Yeah.
even risk it by dating John or whatever the guy's name is.
Yeah.
I mean, you got things going for you. I mean, you're very attractive. Got that London thing going on. Is your hopefully your daughter is extremely well behaved. That's important.
she she is. Yeah.
Um, have you ever dated? Have you ever had anybody around your daughter and your ex
Mhm.
knows about it?
No, I haven't had anyone around my daughter.
Okay, well, that's going to be an issue.
Okay.
He's her father, and a man
Yeah.
around. I mean, but that's a whole entirely different. Are you guys at least on the same? Are you at least cordial with one another?
Yeah, we are. We
Have you
co-parent one.
Have
And
you
he's in
just
another relationship.
have you discussed what it would be like if you were to get married and have his daughter living in the house with another man?
Briefly.
Well, it's going to need to be more than brief because,
Yeah, sure.
all right, appreciate it.
Okay.
All right. Put you back in the waiting room. Your microphone's not on. Y'all want me to post the link again? Okay. I mean, she was pretty. I mean, and you guys know I love that London accent. I was gonna say, is this Jessica X? But it wasn't her avatar. Um, basic witch. You're a witch? Oh Lord, I got a witch on here. So I need to back it up. Ladies, understand something. The caller that was on before the previous caller, I've thought about it, but look, this is why it's important to have fathers and men around, because far too often you ladies get involved in these fanciful notions about, you get caught up in the romance of feelings about relationships, and you'll make bad decisions. You'll have a child, you get engaged, then you're involved in another 2-year relationship. It just won't work. Ma'am, your microphone's not on. Your microphone's not on, so I can't talk to you until your microphone is on. So, I mean, your camera's off, but your microphone's not on. So, when you got to understand, as a coach, if I stopped telling truth when people start giving tears, because you have to ask yourself, where are the tears coming from? Are they coming from it? Sometimes people are just like crying to stop. Oh, I don't want. Look, like, men, men have a natural switch that when women start to cry, we're supposed to, oh. But I'm sorry, I've seen too many. Women who could cry to manipulate. I don't deal with the manipulative. I'm not saying that's what she was doing, but the fact is, you have to ask yourself, is what I'm saying accurate? And if she responded in a positive way, I would have said it the same way. The problem was, it was no accountability. All everybody else. So no. Okay. Here we go. Now we got it going. Hello. How are you? What do you got for me?
To kind of know your thoughts on it. I
Okay.
Yeah, I have a little different situation.
Okay. Go ahead.
Um my my husband he had two children from a previous relationship, and I had one daughter from a previous relationship, and we we got together, and I mean, like,
Mm.
can you hear me?
I can hear you just fine. Go ahead.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. Sorry. I heard some background noise. But yeah, I mean, I just wanted to say, there are some good people out there, because I mean, we both had kids from previous relationships.
Yeah.
And I mean, we got together, and he's a very hard worker, successful man. And
Well,
I
here's the
mean,
thing.
we are a blended
I
family. And
Are you guys married?
yes,
Okay. Look, I make allowance that women with children can get married, but it is often, if you watch my show, oftentimes women want, on my the calling of my show, they want men of a certain caliber. Most of these women want men
right.
who are making three, who, whether they understood the numbers or not, most women want men who can provide an upper middle class lifestyle, to where they don't have to
Yeah.
work a day in their life and can be stay at home mothers. In an upper middle class lifestyle in Dallas, Atlanta, Houston, Miami, whatever, the kind of homes the kind of cars these people want to drive, the kind of
Right.
things they want for their children. They want their college kids to be able to go to college if they want to, and the parents pay for it. Man, these most women call into my show want men who are making $325,000 to $350,000, and there's just not a lot of men
Yeah.
like
Well,
that. I just need you to understand that.
I
I get
I
that you,
like to make my own money, but I
but,
mean, he literally asked me to quit my job to be a stay-at-home mom, so I'm a stay-at-home now.
but is your husband earning the kind of money that I just talked about? What a lot of these women want their
Yes,
husband. Okay.
we have all of our kids set up college funds. I mean, I just bought a new truck. Well, he just bought me a new truck for all the kids a couple weeks ago.
So if you had, so
Um,
how about this? Let me ask you a question this way. If you were trying to tell women the way to end up in your position, would you tell
I'm
them?
definitely not saying my position is like, well, my situation to begin with was ideal because I
Well,
definitely made my
no,
mistakes.
no.
You know what I mean?
What I'm saying, if you were trying to give women the best advice, would you tell them that having a child helps you, or it hurts you, or it doesn't matter?
Being a single parent,
Yeah. So if you're trying to talk about trying to get married to a man who's earning the kind of money you say your husband's making, would you tell women that if you're trying to marry a man who's making the kind of money my husband's making, it doesn't matter if you have a kid, it does matter, or
I think that it depends on the kind of man that it is, honestly. There, like you said, you know, a lot of men and stuff, and you've heard their opinions, but like there's different, I feel like you're right, there's different calibers of men,
I know.
and
And what I
he
do is,
makes very good money, but he is a very good father, and he loves, you know,
well, I
like
mean,
it didn't hurt me.
well, I appreciate you calling in because I already said at the beginning that there's always going to be an exception. But the rule
Right.
is generally men don't want children from another man. There are always going to be exceptions, but that's
I can
just.
understand that. I definitely know, you know, the situation's not the norm or not ideal,
Well,
but I just,
let me go ahead and get to the next caller. I appreciate you
all
calling in,
right.
sis. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you for your time.
All right, bye bye. Yeah, and again, I understand that something people often ask me to do is why don't you talk about morals or principles or this or that? I can't talk about everything in a show where you're talking to. I have to speak to the majority. That means 50.1% or 51%. That means there may be 49% over here, but the majority is over here. If you're going to talk, you got to give the majority advice. I can't see your microphone, Hannah. Uh, and that's going to be the last call. Um, she's bounced out. So, yeah. So, again, you don't do yourself any favors by having children, ladies. You don't do yourself any favors by having children out of wedlock, especially when you start talking about getting men who earn more money. You just don't. Can it happen? Sure. But what are the likelihood? And that's when I ask ladies, what's the likelihood? What are the chances? Do you improve your odds or do you decrease your odds? And the thing is, ladies, I get it. You love your children unconditionally and you think that they're the best thing in the world. But to the world, that's just another person. That's hard for a lot of women to hear because women will die for their kids. But to the men, it's like, hey, my kid. Now, I've been a stepfather. I get it. But a stepfather is a crappy deal in general. How rarely do you hear children who had good step parents shouting their step parents out? They're quicker to shout their mothers out. But stepfathers end up taking on all the responsibility of a biological father and often don't get any of the respect in the entire bill. And you need to hear this, ladies. because every time you can point out a Shaquille O'Neal or somebody who says his biological didn't bother, that is an infinitesimally small number. Most men who are stepfathers, who have been stepfathers, will tell you, don't ever do it. I'm going to try to get her in. Um, uh, you're connecting your audio. It's cool. And I think it's kind of interesting that a lot of women really, after having a child, really try to explain why it's not as tough as it is. And I'm like, well, all right, but are you hearing it from the man's standpoint? Hello, go ahead and unmute yourself. Hello, I can. What do you got for me?
Divorced, married. So I've been married for 11 years. I'm 32 now. We got married when I was 19 and a bit.
Mm-hmm.
And he was 24. Um, and it was my call. I'm the one who left him. And I'm just wondering, is that the same for me to get a high value man? Would it be the same? Or does that put us on the same boat as the baby moms?
In general,
Mm-hmm.
no, because men in general separate women who had children as a result of a legal marriage versus
Mm-hmm.
women who had children in a non-traditional way, i.e., baby mama, non-state sponsored marriage, spiritual union, whatever. Men are very processed. So if you're saying you had a legal marriage,
Right,
and your birth, a marital certificate, dissolution, then you are in a different category from the
okay,
start.
okay.
But
That's
then it does definitely come down to the amount of children, the age of the children, the 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 overall disposition. How do these kids act? Where the
right,
ex-husband is? Because a man is gonna, he may see you and say, "I want to date you." You say you're 32, right?
right. I am.
You so that puts you as a younger, not an old woman, but you're not a young woman. That puts you firmly in. You're a woman, so a guy could say, "Man," and he meets you, but when they get after they start to get to know you, all that stuff is out there. One, two kids, and an ex-husband. A man has to factor that in. So you mentioned specifically a high value husband. Now that is where it becomes tricky. So I got to
Okay.
ask you.
So basically he had pursued his PhD. He was in school the whole time. He
Okay.
was already pursuing his master's when he was 24. And then he got his postgrad and just kept on climbing the ladder. And I have a bachelor's. So we both were in the education field. And he comes from, pretty
But why?
decent.
But why would you want a high value man?
That is literally, I wanted a high value man when I was younger,
Okay.
got one. And then when I realized that in terms of relationship and compatibility wasn't working or it wasn't healthy for the children, I decided that I wanted two broken happy homes instead of one broken.
Let me explain something real quick.
Right.
Hold
Mm-hmm.
on. Let me explain something very close. Just because your ex-husband has a PhD does not make him a high value man.
Okay.
I have very specific dimensions. It has nothing. High value man is not men that women tend to run from; they run to.
Okay.
So he may be educated. That's fine, but and being 24, it's hard for a guy to truly be high value in his 20s. There's a certain amount of maturity and gravitas that comes along with it. So maybe he was just educated and at earning potential. But
You mean when I first married him, or are you talking about right now?
well, that's all he had in the 24.
Yeah.
He didn't make it
Okay.
himself. But
Right.
but you asked the question, how does it affect your opportunities with high value men, meaning in the present? Are you
Right.
still trying to get high value men?
Yes.
All right. So let me explain what a high value man is as far as I define it. A high value
Okay.
man is a man who meets a certain income threshold. The baseline is like $10,000 a month in Atlanta dollars and Dallas dollars. You have to adjust for whatever city you're in. He's making
Okay.
that money for at least about 5 years, 3 years where he's scratching the surface. That person also, other high value men look at him as a peer. He has group acceptance. He also has a network of other high value men as contacts and other people because you can't be
Yes.
high value and like a loner. Meaning he also has visibility, meaning people kind of understand who he is, what he does. So you don't have to just say, I'm an entrepreneur. That's vague. And then last, he's useful, utility. He's useful to himself, others, and the group. He's not just a loner hoarding this stuff. So now that's the basic stuff. Now there may be other things on top of that. There may be morals, principles, values that are different, but that's in general. But I got to ask you, are you talking about marrying a man of a certain income range because you want to have a certain lifestyle?
Yes, I want it to be equal to how I've been living, but I do value a good character and a person with a great foundation,
Okay, that's fine.
primarily.
But
Yeah.
what do you mean how you currently been living?
In terms of, I want it to be more upper class. Like we've been living pretty well all those years.
Okay.
So
Do you want to have any more children?
I I would say either no, like I would be fine with not having any more children,
Okay.
but or I would have one more and I'd be okay with
So do
that as
you
well.
want to have to work to pay significant bills?
Yeah, I've done both, so I'm comfortable with both as well.
I'm saying, what do you want?
I mean, right now, I'm a businesswoman. Like I launched my own business, but I was
Do you
teaching in the
want to have to
education.
work to pay significant bills? Meaning, do you want the responsibility of paying a significant portion of the mortgage, utilities, retirement, all that stuff?
No,
All right. So you want him to carry the financial load.
right.
All right. So you want to be a 32-year-old divorcee with two
Hmm.
kids, and you want to marry a man that has to carry the bulk of the financial load for you,
That has the ability. Sorry, the ability. No.
the ability.
Yeah, I want him to have. I
Okay,
don't want
ma'am,
to
you
have
can't
to.
pay, ma'am. Let's cut to the chase. You cannot pay the mortgage on freaking ability. He has. You want so you want potential. How do you
Exactly.
eat?
Yes. Yes. That's
Okay,
it.
ma'am. Then how? Okay, so how do you put a potential meal in front of your children? I'm
Yeah,
not trying to be bullshit,
I
man, but I want to
understand
get
what
to
you're
the
saying.
because see what you're giving me is
Yeah.
a bunch of stuff that's leading towards spirituality and mysticism, and I'm getting very real. When you put a
It
plate in front
really.
of your listen,
Okay.
you put a plate in front of your kids. Does that has potential mashed potatoes, potential chicken, potential vegetables, or do you want
No.
real chicken?
No.
All right, so you want a man that brings real economic resources to carry the burden of the financial load. That's what you
Hmm.
said.
Yes.
All right. So ask yourself a question. What is he going to get for that? Because you don't even want to have any additional kids. What's he going to get from you and
No.
two kids?
What I said was that I would not be against having one more, but I also wouldn't be against not having because I have a boy and a girl, 7 and
Okay, man,
10.
but that's you. See,
Hmm.
and see what I'm trying to
No, but
get
I'm
to.
not. I'm
Listen,
not.
don't overtalk me, ma'am. No.
Okay.
I hear very
Okay.
well.
No, I'm
Do not
obviously
overtalk
not trying to
me.
be rude.
Do
I'm
not
not trying to be
overtalk me.
rude at all.
Do you not hear? Please don't overtalk me.
I apologize, sir.
You have a son and a daughter,
Yes.
but you want a man who has the ability to put you in an upper middle class life to where he can be responsible to pay the bulk of everything. So you are not ultimately responsible for a significant portion of any of it. And what I'm saying is at best, he's going to get possibly one kid out of it. But he has the responsibility for a wife and two children from another man. That's a bad deal.
Mm.
I don't care how nice your kids are, how well mannered they are. He has all the responsibilities of a man with a wife and 3 kids, and at best he can get one. And you are really hesitant on that one. It's like I'll give him one, but I really rather it not anything. So here's basically what you're saying. I want you to come take care of me and my prince and my prince and my princess, and put us up in a nice middle class, upper middle class lifestyle, and provide for us, and we'll let you provide for us. Huh?
I'm willing to compromise. So it what it
Compromise on
comes
what?
down to,
Okay, okay, ma'am.
I'm willing to, if he had, if I don't know if I could speak, but if he was, I'm willing to, like, I'm a communicator, so I would love to, I'm not going to take and take. If we had the conversation where he said, this is what my standards are, I would say, well, these are my standards. And then we would have a middle ground. So me
Okay, but hold
making
on.
money.
Okay, ma'am. That's not.
Yeah.
No, no, no. That's not compromise. Okay, compromise is okay. Compromise meaning he wants to go left, you want to go right. You say instead, let's go this way. But see, what's not compromised is who has to pay the financial responsibility.
Right. I guess I'm just used to, I guess I got used to, my money is your money and your money is your money, even
Who
though
did?
I
Okay,
did
who did
spend,
that though,
yeah.
ma'am? Who did
Yeah.
that? My money is your money.
Oh, it comes from, my ex-husband did that, but it also comes from my religious background. And the men that I do date are only of that religious background. So they also understand that concept.
What? Muslim? Islam?
Yeah.
All right, but okay. Whoa, are you talking about true Islam or Nation of Islam?
No, not Nation of Islam.
All right, then also, then this conversation really shouldn't be that complicated because the women I understand that are Muslim are very much know their roles. So it sounds like you have some Western Islam.
Yeah, so he was American, and I'm
But I'm
East
talking about
African.
you.
So yeah, I'm East African, I'm Canadian
Yeah,
and
of course.
American.
So basically, hey,
Yeah.
coming. So here's what basically you're saying: the
Mhm.
man I married and divorced provided me a certain kind of lifestyle, but he
Right.
got the benefit of my womb, and I produced 2 children for him. I want you to pick up where he left off financially, but I'm not going to give you any of the shit that I gave you. I gave him my youth, my womb, and 2 children.
Mhm.
You get nothing but the extension of the bill.
Wow.
Good luck with that. I don't care how cute you are and how many times you pray. I don't know how many times a day you pray.
No, that's
That's
real
very
talk.
Western. That's very Western.
Right. Wow. Then what
Is
kind of
this your picture?
conversation?
Is this
What
your
kind of
picture? Is that
conversation
is
should I
that
be
your picture?
having?
Is this your picture on Zoom?
Yes, it is.
How long ago did you take that picture?
About a few months ago. It's on my
2 months ago.
Instagram page.
Okay, so if you look like Gabrielle Sidibe, Precious, would you be asking for what you're asking for?
I don't think so.
Oh, okay. So you so basically you're mortgaging you're pretty. You're but see the thing is your pretty is used. No
Right.
offense, ma'am. Your pretty is used. Your pretty has high miles. It's a nice body on the car, but the motor has 300,000 miles and 2 kids. Would your new husband be able to discipline those children like his own?
Wow. Yeah. So I
Oh,
dated a guy, and I already, it's already aligning with what you're saying. He talked a good game, and was speaking as if it was almost like a dream-like world. And I'm a realist, so I'm not against your brutal honesty. I actually love it. I right away understood that this was a dream that he was setting me. This is selling me. This is a marketing. This is not something that is going to be real
yeah, he
once.
was trying to get them skins.
Right. And that is something I don't do until like marriage, which I did with my ex. So it's, yeah,
Whoa,
it's
whoa, whoa, whoa. Are you
totally,
saying hold on? Did you say you won't have sex until you're married?
yeah, I'm basically a celibate after my divorce.
Oh, so even better. Even better. I gotta marry you and pay full freight plus 2 kids. Uh Let me go ahead and give you the preemptive taps. There ain't no There ain't that much fucking pretty in the world, man.
Right. I'm trying to be moral. I just don't want to have a baby.
No, you're
I
not
don't
trying to
want.
be moral. You're trying to be a man. You're trying to set demands like you are
Oh no,
somebody.
I've been like this my whole life. I
All right,
honestly
ma'am.
don't
Then
want
you
any
should have
slip
stayed
ups.
with. If you're gonna have these high demands, you should have stayed with your husband.
Yeah, no, I wanted peace of mind.
Okay, well then you got peace of mind, and you'll die alone by a dog because this is the open market. They don't have to care about your
If
guy.
I do
Your
get married, I will Zoom you again and
well,
make
no,
sure that.
no, no, no. You won't get. I would tell you this: you won't get married to a man the caliber you talking about.
Hmm.
I would bet a lot on that because the men that you're talking about don't have to take a 32-year-old woman who ain't gonna have sex with them until they sign until they're legally married, and then know that at best they might get one kid out of it. Why would I do that? Why would they do that when in your religion they can go get a young woman with no
They do that
children?
in my religion all the
Excuse
time,
me,
though.
why
They
would
do.
they do that and they could go get a woman with no children? And they can have multiple children. See, you don't what it is, man, is unfortunately you left your husband, right?
Yes.
Where in Islam are you allowed to leave your husband?
Yeah, we are allowed. There's conditions.
Right, I know. And were those conditions met?
Yes, not in terms of emotions. No.
Well, then those can. So the divorce decree, the dissolution of marriage was for what reason?
I'm sorry. Say that again.
The divorce decree was for what reason?
I mean, we did fall in love, so but
No,
it was a
ma'am.
while. A
No,
long.
ma'am. In
We grew
Islam,
up. We grew
okay,
apart.
okay, but okay for the Muslim. If you're telling me for the Muslim men I know, women in Islamic countries don't file for divorce. That's a
I
Western
actually lived
thing.
overseas in Saudi Arabia for 4 years. I was
Exactly. So
teaching
you
there.
want exactly. So again, what I'm getting at, ma'am, is thank you for see Western women and women in general, but especially in the West, you have the uncanny ability to try to use everything to your advantage. I'm a Muslim when it fits me, but I'm Western when it suits me. See, I can
How so?
file. You file for divorce from your husband, but if you were in Saudi, could you have filed? Could you have left your husband on the grounds you left him here?
Yeah, so that's what my point was. When I was overseas, there were Saudi women that were having a tough time getting out of that because of their culture, not because of the religion. In our religion, yes, you can
Well,
file for
good luck.
divorce.
I put it to you this way, ma'am.
It's a
You
lack
sound like
of
I'll put it to you this way,
knowledge in
ma'am.
the
You
religion.
sound. First off, I'll tell you this, ma'am. Um, you may be a lovely, fun person, but as dominant as you sound like a whole headache. And you may be
I
Muslim.
just think you don't understand the religion, and that's
Well,
the I'm calling
but
from
I
because
do understand.
that's
But I do
probably my
understand.
first flaw.
I do understand a bullheaded woman when I hear one. That's why I've had to mute you. Ain't nothing Islamic sounding about you. You sound just like any old Western feminist to me. Go ahead and unmute yourself. But you can't talk over me. I've already said that 3 times. It won't be a fourth. You can unmute yourself. Mm-hmm. See, what a lot of these women try to do. Oh, no, you can't do that. Bye-bye. See, ladies, understand why men don't want to deal with women with children. This woman who was, if that's her picture, she was pretty, but there's not enough pretty to deal with that. Who thinks that she was a demure, loving, inspirational Muslim wife, dutiful? She couldn't even control herself on the panel. Yet you want somebody to come along, wait until they're married to have sex with you while looking at two hungry mouths they got to feed, knowing that they probably won't even get one kid. Who thinks that woman really wanted to have additional children? I heard her what she said. What she's looking for is an old sucker. She's looking for a man who's an old sucker, who's already got kids. He's in her mind, he's the younger the better, but he needs to already have kids. She's looking for a divorced man or guy to be his second wife. But I'm gonna tell you, second husbands don't pick up used luggage. They're gonna go get new luggage. She's trying to play 1960s and 70s game in 2020, and it won't work. Think a man's gonna wait to have sex with you? Out of your fucking mind? And then they're not even gonna get a kid. If they do get one kid out of the deal, she would dangle that kid over that guy like the sword of Damocles. And who thinks that she would stay in that marriage? She'd have another 18 years worth of child support and alimony to dangle over this dude, child support from this one, and then she could have her own middle class lifestyle. Yeah, we see y'all women coming a mile away. You ain't getting my boys. That shit don't work on my dudes. Blake, the Henrys, that don't work on them. And the damn sure don't work on high value men because they see you coming a mile away and can diagnose you. That's why being in the danger zone is so dangerous. You've lived enough life to where you're starting to try to manipulate men instead of trying to come into it saying, you know what? I'm a divorcee with 2 kids and my backstory does not sound very good. Where can I get in where I fit in to try to see if I can restore and live the rest of my life in peace and harmony with a man? And if he would be willing to take on me and my children, no, you're acting like you up here and you doing somebody a favor because what? You cute? Well, notice when I asked you, if you were Gabrielle Sidibe, would you have this kind of demanding price? No. Ain't that much pretty in the world, man. This is a very, very good show. The Single Mother series. The Single Mother series is going to be a hit because we are going to have to talk about this because far too many women mess around and have a child and then want a man to have to pay. So, excuse me. Why is high value men so important? Because the only men that make the kind of money these women are looking for are men of a certain economic status. These women aren't looking for men making 40 or 50,000. They're looking for $100,000 plus men to take on the financial burden of her and her children. You guys have heard it. So miss me with all this. Everybody don't have to be high value. Look, 6 months of shows, and I don't begrudge women for wanting what they want. I just say, what are you bringing to the table? What do you want? And having a child lowers your value. And what I'm seeing is far too many women are having a real problem accepting the fact that their children are not special to anyone except them and their family. And I know that hurts. Your children are special to you and yours. To us, they're just other people. And to men, they are a liability. You think a man wants to get out and take what it takes to go make himself the top 10% of men, and they want to have to talk about another man? You mean I got to take on you and your kids? So that means your ex is going to have a child in my house. So that means he's going to be calling on the phone. So you sitting down watching TV, the phone ring. Oh, your dad wants to talk to you. Her dad wants to talk to her. Hell no. Men don't want that. Oh, his dad wants to talk to him. And and inevitably you've had children for bust down dudes. See, what you rarely hear is women who have had elite level men or even above average men to where they can say, the least I'm making a lateral move, why is the first question I ask, what does your ex do? And it's always these shady kind of You don't have that's what let me make it real clear. Ladies, whoever your baby daddy is the top line of what you qualify for. How about that? Whoever your baby daddy is, that's the top line of who you qualify for. That's it. So if you didn't have a baby for a millionaire, stop trying to get a baby for stop trying to get millionaires. If you had a baby for a grandma living in his grandma's house, dude, then that's what you get. Sharia law. I mean, yeah, that chick was a trip. So, ladies, learn something. Don't have any children before you get married. Don't they weren't even alpha widow. These dudes weren't alpha. Every one of these stories was, except for the last one, and she's overplaying her hand. Marry before you carry. Every one of the women I talked to had some story that was a sad story. 6 years in a relationship, but like I said, why didn't you make him marry you? And it matters, ladies. It matters. It matters to the next guy because they got to be able to tell their colleagues, their friends, their compatriots that they did not overpay. Like it or not, man, the market theory, no man wants to overpay. You're asking men to overpay for a used vehicle. Wow. So, if it's a big deal, you know, and I get why it's so challenging for ladies. It's because I've spoken to hundreds of women this year alone, and a lot of women really they can't say it, but I've heard women say, "I wish I hadn't had any children. I love my child, but I wish I'd never had him." That's hard for women to actually admit. And most wouldn't say it because they're afraid of how it sounds. People are like, I don't want to put that out into the air because something could happen and my child could get sick. And I'm like, we get it. But if you decide to have a child, but what you're before you get married, what you're basically saying is, I'm willing to take the next 20 years out of the dating of the marital scene. I'm willing to take the next 20 years out. See, what you ladies need to start doing is understanding how serious having a baby is. And because you're making more money than any other group of women, you're more educated, you got more benefits available to you, having a child really doesn't impact you. That's why that 24-year-old woman was basically couldn't understand. I got a job in IT. I can afford my own life. I mean, this child is not impacting me at all. Until this. So stop getting upset with men for not wanting what you guys are offering and realizing that if you do have a child, it is up to you to learn what you need to do to offset that to the kind of men you would like to deal with. You need to learn that. So I think probably the woman in London was probably the most reasonable. And there are women out there who are really trying to understand, all right, I've got myself into this position. Now, how do I offset this and not try to use it as some low-key kind of trick vibes? I'm trying to play a game. No, you need to understand how to offset that and to be good or happy with the kind of caliber man that you can get. Because the undertone for far too many women is you're trying to give a man a bad deal. And I'll never support a man being given a bad deal because you wouldn't want somebody supporting men giving you bad deals. So thank you guys for tuning in. Thanks to the caller. Thanks to the people in the show. Thank you to the moderators. You know, it's hard out there for so stream settings we got good. Okay, so going forward, let's talk about it. If you were in New York City, your godfather's coming to New York City this week. People have asked me if I'm going to host a meetup. If I do host a meetup, I will announce it in the frat room. I'm thinking about hosting a meetup, but the thing is, especially if you like a hater or a critic, come on out. Don't be surprised when you see a 6'4" man standing in front of you, though. I'm not trying to hear a bunch of drama. Most times people don't come out and they won't come say nothing to you. If you would like to, if I can think of, and as far as I know, in New York City, a lot of things are kind of shut down. I'm going to Brooklyn, and then I'll be spending time in Midtown. I'm taking the laptop. I'm taking the drone, and I plan on having a good time in New York City. Yes, I will be hosting the show on the road. Remember, I told you guys I have the mobile studio. The computer will be here tomorrow. Now, of course, we won't have all the stuff in the set, but we should have a Danger Zone professional sounding audio, professional video. It will be a different backdrop, but we're going to New York City, baby. Yeah. And then when I get back here for a second, then blowing out to LA, get out in LA, California dreaming. We're going to have fun in LA. I may swing up the West Coast or I may just stay in LA. LA, California is a little more locked down. So, I'll kind of see and play it by ear. So, yeah. If you, I've also launched the campaign, My Next Ex-Wife. Y'all trying to help the Godfather find his next ex-wife? Let's do it. I want to play this video for y'all real quick. How many of y'all got... I'm gonna upload this video stay in LA to YouTube. California is a little more locked down. Let's watch a little bit of it right now. I'll kind of see and play it by ear. So, I gotta share this with you guys. Oh my! So, this is a damn sure frat room discussion. Oh shit! I'm at my local grocery store, pharmacy, or whatever, and I'm looking around and I'm grabbing some things. And as I'm checking out, I started thinking. I was like, I looked at what I bought, and I'm like, Jesus. So what do I have here? I have Red Bull, condoms, and candy. That's what I have. Red Bull, condoms, and candy. I'm like, God damn. What must people think who check you out at these places when they don't know you? They just see what you're buying? Red Bull, condoms, and candy. That's the next video. That's the next video. Red Bull, condoms, and candy. Wait till you see this video. Oh my God, how funny that shit was. Red Bull, condoms, and candy. Oh man, your Godfather. I'm enjoying life right now. I'm enjoying life. Things are good. They're only going to get better. We're taking the show on the road. I would love to meet some of the people who watch the show. If you see me out and about, say hello. I don't bite. If you're trying to become, if you want to fill out an application to be the next ex-wife, understand, yes, beauty is a requirement. Yeah, you must be bona fide, solid, fine. I ain't marrying a mud duck. I'm not marrying or getting with a mud duck. Not gonna happen. So, Campaign for the next ex-wife. Yeah, baby boy. But more on that later. So thank you guys for joining in. The show was fun. But as usual, until next time, peace. We are gone. Red Bull, condoms, and candy. They ain't seen a condom in years. Better.
In this moment, yes, I cannot say what's wrong or right. No. It's not hard to fool me. No. 'Cause I'm addicted to the good life. Yes. Yeah. Lead the way. I follow. No need to say. Where we are heading now, babe. I follow to the edge of it all. To the edge of it all.
Red Bob.
So tell you good night. 'Cause I'll find no better one. Yeah. Susceptible now. Before the moment flies. Ooh. So tell you good night. 'Cause I'll find a better one. Ooh.
Thank you guys for joining the show. It was good. Thank you to all the callers. It was fun. It was dope.
It's not a problem. No. 'Cause I know what I'm getting into. Yes. Yeah. And nothing can stop.
Join me on Patreon for videos you will only see there. Patreon video tops tomorrow on the road. You want to see updates, things like that, meetups, they will be over on Patreon. I will announce to my patrons before I would ever announce it to YouTube, because people who are patrons actually are supporting. Join me on IG for videos you will only see in the front room, behind the scenes stuff. That's kind of crazy, man. When they're up, they're up. When they're gone, they're gone. Email your show ideas to info@bykevinsamuels.com or go to bykevinsamuels.com. Book your one-on-one time with me. Go to the scheduling tab, pick your day, date, time, along with your service. Respect my inbox. If you're a fine woman and want to put in your application for a Godfather's next ex-wife, then your measurements, your stats, your pictures, your byline. That way. We having fun. Peace out.